Hi, I'm Linda Connolly. Welcome to my really untidy studio. I'm just going to show you a really quick and simple way of forming a simple teardrop into a three-dimensional shape using 0.7 sterling silver. I often like to enamel on a curved surface because it gives a better form to jewellery rather than the flat one. So I start off with a flat shape, which I've cut and just roughly filed, and then these small ones can be quite tricky to add form to, but this is a way I've found works very well. I use a wooden punch, and this teardrop egg-shaped wooden depression blocks. They're not completely the right shape, but that's fine, it doesn't actually matter. So I position it in the one that fits better, and then with a wooden punch I'm just hitting it sort of on the side where, and then tilting it where I want it to move. Down the middle. And then for the end, in order to get that nicely rounded, I like to put it in a smaller one. And then again with the wooden punch, now as you can see, it's shaped, but it's not lying flat. So next I take it to my spoon stake and start using that with, I like to use it with, hit it with my frets Delrin hammer, which I find works really well. Here I have my spoon stake, and I can just rest it nicely there on my vise. So take my shape, and I want to hammer these sides in a little bit more, which will help make it the whole thing flatter. So where it's lifting up a little bit, that is what I'm going to hold down. And then I'm going to turn it round and do the same the other side. And you can see, I think that one side's come flatter and the other side that I haven't hit yet is still up. You do need to be careful not to hit your thumb. It hurts. It's tricky on these small ones. Obviously, a bigger shape is easier. That still wants to come in a little bit more. It's all quite quick, otherwise it doesn't really seem worth clamping it properly, but I find this just gives enough support. I've often thought of making one of those holes bigger, but I haven't, because I use them anyhow. Next I take it to a flat stake, and I think you can see that it's still up a bit, but I can flatten it now. So by having it off the end and it being round helps. I'm just stroking it with the hammer to encourage that side to go down. And meet the other side, and meet the bottom. And you can see it's half on, half off, which gives it room to move. And if I hold it up, you can see it's very nearly down one side, and the other side, there's always one side that's a bit more tricky. I like working on this shape, and this is just a method that I've developed that I find works. Obviously, press forming is another way of getting a three-dimensional pillow shape. I do use that, especially for a more complex shape. But for a simple shape like this, it's very wasteful on silver. And with the price of it, one doesn't want to waste it any more than one has to. Yeah, so you can see that is fairly flat now. So next I take a sanding stick. Right. Next I take a sanding stick and I just want to sand the bottom. I'm going to be grand at any robberies because obviously I won't have any fingerprints. I'm not putting any pressure on my finger. Sometimes I make a little handle. But what I'm aiming for is just to make an edge like on this one. Because that will help keep the shape flat when I enamel it. It will have counter enamel in here and obviously cloisonné on the other side. And I will engrave it first. But you can see with just very little that I've, the edge is starting to be revealed. Another way of, a good idea actually is with a little bit of masking tape, making a handle. And that helps you keep your fingerprints and not wear holes in them, which is always good. This is 240 sanding grit, so fairly coarse, and then I'm just rubbing that up and down. If it was bigger, I'd use a flat piece of paper on a flat surface, but for small shapes like this, I find a sanding stick just more convenient. So here we go. And I think you can see that is all ready now to be engraved. So that's a very simple way of forming shapes to make them pillow shape. If you have a flat shape, it's harder to set, and also it's more likely to dish up so that and warp. This is 0.7 silver, so not that thick, but with the shape and form, it will hold its shape and allow me to do the cloisonné enamel. Hope that's been of interest to you. Thank you.